Yo, what is up, guys? It's SKFC here again, and I'm here to discuss a very interesting topic that I just thought about today. And what if Lionel Messi had won the World Cup? The World Cup has been the one elusive thing that has eluded one Lionel Messi throughout his entire career. And to many people, this lack of a trophy is the reason why he can't be considered in the GOAT debate. So I thought about it, and I came with a couple things I thought would happen if he did win the World Cup, and how that would change the overall perception of his career and everything that he's done so far. So the first thing is, if Messi had won the World Cup, I think that the whole GOAT debate would have died at that point, simply because at that point there would literally, I do mean literally, be nothing left that you could really hold against Messi when it comes to comparing him to his GOAT candidate contemporaries. Because for a lot of people, the thing that they use to put Pele or Maradona over Messi is the World Cup. The World Cup is the biggest trophy in this sport in terms of prestige. So it does make sense that that he is held to such a high standard. What I would also say to that is that the reason why the GOAT debate would end is because on a club level, there is literally nothing that both Pele, Maradona, or really anyone that's really done that could honestly match Lionel Messi in terms of silverware, records, overall just general play. He's won I think about 36 trophies in his 14-year playing career. Not 16-year playing career. That's more than entire clubs. That is literally more than entire clubs. So when it comes to the whole club career, I think he's already the unequivocal GOAT if you just take club career on its own. So with the World Cup, that would pretty much kind of silence any critics, any detractors that use that as a reason to detract from his greatness. Another thing that would happen is that Messi would gain a much higher standing or favorable reception in Argentina. For those that don't know, Argentinians have probably never will hold Messi in the same regard as Maradona, regardless of whether you think he's good or better, or worse than Maradona. Simply for the fact that he never, at the very least, hasn't, most likely won't, produce the one thing that Maradona has, which is a World Cup trophy. Maradona, rest in peace to the legend himself, he is so embedded in Argentina's sporting, history / nucleus that he's never really going to be overtaken. He's loved over there. He will always be beloved over there. And Messi has just never really had that same connection with Argentinian football fans. And especially what's made it worse is the fact that he pretty much is really only played in Spain for Barcelona, so he doesn't really have that same connection with his home country due to that as well. And when you combine that with the lack of international trophies and the 4 international finals that they've lost, it is little wonder why Argentinians don't really hold him in the same regard, defend him with the same kind of respect that they would a Maradona. I think it's just kind of one of those things that a World Cup would definitely fix, in terms of perception. I think that he would be unequivocally, if not lauded as the GOAT, which I don't think he might not have been, he would be like kind of a 1B instead of a distant second, in terms of how Argentinians view their soccer players. Because if you go to Argentina, they don't really hold Messi in that regard. They don't really hold him in that same tier. Again, irrespective of what you think of his actual talent as a whole. So I think that if he did have that World Cup, he would definitely gain that respect to be in that same ballpark as a Maradona. One thing to keep in mind is the manner in which he wins it, because obviously his best chance of winning that World Cup was 2014. And one of the things that, people tend to levy at him, even outside of the final, is that in terms of the knockout stages, Di Maria was low-key Argentina's best player. He was the one, scoring and assisting, in those knockout stages, whereas Messi really wasn't. So if, for example, that Higuain chance, if that had been the only goal of the game, would people have given Messi as much credit for that World Cup win as a Maradona? In my opinion, probably not. Considering Maradona was involved in 10 out of the 14 goals Argentina scored in the World Cup that they won. So that would also kind of tie into how he's viewed. So it's possible, even if he did win a World Cup, he still wouldn't have been treated with the same respect as Maradona. But I mean, at that point though, whether he would or he wouldn't in Argentina, overall, in the overall footballing community, I think that at that point, just the fact that he won it would kind of paper over the specifics of what he really did to get there. For example, Pele is still seen as winning 3 World Cups, whereas in 1962, he was pretty much injured after like the first couple of games, so he really didn't play in it, but people still give him the credit for winning 3 World Cups. So, or Ronaldo, he was injured in the finals of the Euros, but people are still going to give him credit for, winning the Euros. So I think that it would be a situation like that where, people just give him the credit just because, a lot of Messi fans want him to win that World Cup, so that the Messi naysayers don't really have anything left to kind of say at him, pretty much. Now, the last kind of section is going to talk about what do I think is going to happen at the World Cup in 2022. Now, by that point, Messi is going to be what? He's going to be, I believe, 35 by the time that World Cup starts. And you got to ask yourself, is he still going to be, the same Messi that we know right now? How is the Argentina team going to be looking by then? What are their chances of really winning that competition? I mean, you look at Argentina as they are right now. I mean, you kind of look at the players they have coming up. They have players like, the Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez. They have young defenders in Juan Forth. They have, Otamendi. The established players like Aguero, Di Maria, players like that. And I'd say, 2022, I don't really think that they would be in the same shape to win a World Cup. Let me put it this way. If I were thinking of World Cup contenders for 2022, they would not be high on my list, to be honest with you. I think, hell, I even think a team like Portugal has a better chance of winning the World Cup than they do, but that's a conversation for another day. But anyway, my point is that I think 2014 was his best chance to win a World Cup. 2018 was a French chance, but to be honest, that French team was unequivocally the best team in my opinion. So I don't really think that anybody else was really ever gonna beat them for that competition, barring maybe Belgium and Brazil. I don't think anybody else had the quality to beat that French team, including Argentina. So I can't really blame for that loss. And I just think that, unfortunately for him, he didn't kind of get the squad that he needed to win one. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Argentine team, they had good players like Mascherano, Tevez, Aguero. So it's not like his squad's been ass or trash or anything like that. But he didn't really have the kind of mental edge that he needed to win. And the World Cup is one of those things where you only get really like 4 chances in your entire playing career to win it, because it's every 4 years. So you know what they say, it sucks to suck, and it's unfortunate for him that he's not really gonna get that trophy. But he still had an amazing club career. So it was just a little interesting video I thought about. And just thinking about what would happen if he did win it. What are his chances of winning it? His best chances to win it. I just thought it would be interesting to talk about. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think of the video, and remember to have a good day.